Welcome to Apocalypse Soon. And now, your lovely host, Mr. Eddie Pepitone.
Hey, everybody. Oh, wow. We are certainly in the end days, huh? The last stage of capitalism where we consume ourselves. Welcome, everybody. I know you're all struggling. I know you're struggling. If you're not struggling, there's something wrong with you. But you know what? We have a great show today, and as far as the struggle goes, we were born into these bodies, or spacesuit, as Ram Dass would say. And we need to kind of just realize that, you know, we are going to die. And that will get us started here. Let's introduce our band member, our band, actually. He is an anti-vaxxer. He is a libertarian. He is an alt-right winger. He is a guy who likes to play around sexually. He is a guy who he occasionally overeats, but then he'll go to confession. Please welcome Bobby and the Mephistophelians.
Whoa, whoa, whoa! What's going down, Eddie Pepitone? Good to see you, friend. You're like a bright, shining, glistening sun in my universe, and I just love to see you.
Bobby, we're in the end. We're in the end times.
We really are.
Ecosystem collapsing. I'm laughing there because I constantly hammer that home. Ecosystem collapsing. We just had huge storms in Ontario, Canada, which, by the way, I was supposed to be in. Bobby.
Oh, my God.
But I dodged a bullet there. With road gigs now, you never know when you're going to die because of weather.
I'll tell you what, that's why you got to live every moment like it's your last.
How do you do that, Bobby? Because a lot of kids will run up to Bobby after the show, and even though they run away crying a lot, Bobby has some advice for them. How do you live life to the fullest?
Stop thinking about tomorrow. Stop thinking about the consequences.
Right.
And just, look, somebody hands me a pill, I go, pop, pop. You know, I pop it in. Hey, what are you going to do?
That is a take the life by the horns or the balls or the cojones, or just grab life.
Oh, yeah.
And make it cough. Yeah.
You got to make it cough, baby. You know, you got to squeeze, got to check for those hernias. But I'll take a foreign pill from a stranger before I do from my own government. Jesus Christ.
Oh, I know. You don't trust any of the science because it's filtered through government agencies.
Mm-hmm.
How many times have you gotten COVID?
Collecting the variants like Pokemon.
I don't do the Pokemon thing, so I don't know. Do people collect things from Pokemon?
Oh, you got to catch them all. That's the theme. You know, if you listen.
Are there prizes?
For just the prize of satisfaction with your life, that you got a Charizard and you got a Chickapoo and you got a Stigamabout.
Yeah.
I'm making up names now, but my nephew knows and we play, you know.
Yeah. All right, now let's welcome our great producer, the man who puts this all together. Please welcome Kevin Taken.
Oh, hey, how's it going, Eddie?
You tell me, Kev, what the fuck is going on?
I am feeling like $1 million right now. I have had, I don't want to brag or anything, but in the last week, I've had 2 8-hour sleeping sessions. It's pretty big.
You usually don't get that much sleep?
I don't. I usually get, I'll be doing something, I'll get distracted, and then I'll get 2 or 3 hours of sleep, and then I got to wake up to take my kids to school, and then I'll come back and I'll be like, I should go back to sleep.
2 or 3 hours, that is not much.
It's not good. I mean, it comes in and out, but a lot of times when I'm supposed to be sleeping, I'm not.
You have a lifestyle of a doctor without borders.
I really do.
Because they are constantly in war zones. And by the way, speaking of war zones, we now are committed to taking part in a proxy war with the Ukraine. We've committed $40 billion. Not that I condone what Russia's doing, but because it all goes to these contractors. We bullshit everybody by saying, oh, we're fighting for freedom and democracy. And what we're fighting for are trillions, billions of dollars of profits for Raytheon, Boeing, Northrop Grumman, all these fucking companies, while this country literally falls apart. Job-wise, manufacturing base gone, and the only answer we have to this stuff is war. But
Yeah.
how are your kids? How are your kids? No, because we have to keep going.
That is the
But I'll
truth.
tell you, when the dollar collapses,
Yeah.
which there are buzzes about that already.
The gas prices are insane, man. It's been crazy. And seeing everything's up. Everything's up like 20%. It's crazy.
Is everything up?
Everything's up. Even literally everything, like from soda to bananas to everything.
Soda to bananas.
Yeah. That's my new special I'm working
I'm
on.
a soup to nuts guy.
Oh, okay,
Which
okay.
means I start with soup and I wind up in a mental institution.
Yeah, yeah.
Soup to nuts.
Yes. Well, you used to be a nuts to butts guy. But I know that that's changed since you got a relationship.
Yeah. Look, as far as sexuality goes, I think right now we're in a very interesting time in this country. In my day, and I'm an old person, in my day, you just kind of were just sad. That was our go-to gender. Like, I want to be referred to as sad.
Right.
Or angry, or sad and angry. That was the biggest gender. Sir, what would you like to be? I said, don't call me sir. And they said, what would you like to be referred to as? What's your pronoun? And I said, sad and angry?
Yeah.
And I'm not sure if that's a pronoun or pronouns. But you know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
We were sad and angry. We would get up. I was born in Brooklyn, and we would get up, and I would just look out the window and scream, not another day! Like, I would just go, no, not another day, not another day. And the thing about the sun and the spinning of the earth, and I know that you look into the spinning of the earth a lot
very
because
much so.
you don't sleep, and you have your telescope laid at. I see you with the telescope, first peeking at your neighbors, and then peeking into the sky, right? Peeking into the sky, and just watching the rotation of all the planets.
It's beautiful.
Watching This is how I picture you. You're like watching a dwarf star or a red giant, big balls of gas, like big balls of gas.
Yeah. I love staring at big balls of gas. There's
I know you do.
It's just something about it, the weight of it and the immenseness.
Absolutely, and especially since gas prices are so high, you look at gas yearningly in the sky. And
Praise the Lord.
Praise the Lord and pass the butter. We are going to be singing those songs in this country soon because the Christianized fascists who are taking away abortion. Mm-hmm. Let's talk about the things that are going on a little bit. We have a great show today, don't we?
Well, hey, don't jump past abortion so fast, Eddie. I mean, cheese and rice. Let's get into this.
I hear you.
How do you feel about the abortion as a man of your age with your sexual prowess and
My sexual prowess is, it's regaled. Mm-hmm. It's hailed by. It's hailed by certain countries.
Yeah.
Vatican City is into my sexual prowess.
Yes. Yeah.
Monte Carlo, and for some reason Belgium.
Well, I hear they have an old pair of your jockey shorts in Italy hung up in the rafters somewhere.
Yes, but that's because I threw it up there in the basilica. But what I want to say, whenever you have an old pair of underwear and you want to make your mark, just throw it up into the rafters of a landmark church.
Yeah.
In Rome. So I would say abortion it's unbelievable to me that these old white fucks in Mississippi, Oklahoma, Texas are taking away the right of a woman to choose.
Yeah.
Roe versus Wade, the fucking Supreme Court pieces of shit.
Yeah.
It's just a great country in general. What we have, and I know it's easy to criticize.
Yeah.
And some people have called me out on that. You know, Eddie, all you do is criticize. Well, let me tell you something, bub. The only reason I criticize is because praise, and I mean praise the Lord, praise was never given to me as a child. Okay? When I got out of the womb, I was immediately told, straighten up, get a haircut, get a job. That was immediate because it was a different time back then. You had to pull yourself up. We had no Instagram when I was born. We had no Facebook. We had no WhatsApp. We had no Snapchat. The closest thing we had to Snapchat was snapping our fingers and then talking. That was Snapchat back then. And not many of us could snap our fingers because our fingers were usually covered in grease from working. What I want to say is when I was born, we didn't have social media. All we had was strife. We had strife and cigarettes. There was no weed to numb us. There was no weed to give us a sense of euphoria. If there was weed, it was being done by the jazz musicians. And they had to go, the black jazz musicians who were smoking the weed had to go overseas because there was so much discrimination here. Now, I want to say this is a great country. We spread war all over this planet. We litter the planet with weapons. We litter the planet with death. But we also have great music.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
We also have great products. I don't know. I just want to tell everybody this is all going to end violently, I fear. Mm-hmm. And, you know, whether it's climate breakdown or the fascism that's coming, the collapse of the economy, which will, of course, you know, quicken the fascism. And if you don't have quicken, get it, right?
Great way to balance your books.
Or combat fascism. The fascism is great way to balance your book. By the way, this section of the program is brought to you by utter despair. All right, well, we have a great show, Kev. It's good to see you here.
You too. Leave us that 5-star review if you haven't. We appreciate you. And that we got the Patreon and everything. And Eddie, I want to tell you too, just based on this monologue and everything, that you're loved and you deserve love. And I think you're great.
I wasn't expecting that. You know, I try to be vulnerable. I try to let things in. But I was always told to triple lock the door of my heart with a Yale lock, even though I hate Ivy League schools. Those fucking elitist, sellout pricks. They all go to the same. They all go to the same school. They're all oligarchs, kids, you know, and they all graduate Harvard, and that's all they talk about is like, oh, I'm from Harvard. I'm from Harvard. You know, they all talk liberal shit, but they're all full of shit.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
You know, they're all full of shit. And by the way, you never, Harvard, I'm talking to you. I applied for the over 60 night school course on baking Napoleons. And you never got back to me. All right.
I think we got a great show. I think that's pretty solid.
I think we're going to get going.
Should we get into the interview?
Let's do it.
All right. Now join us checking in with Al and Margret, the couple living inside Eddie Pepitone's head.
Please don't kill Black Beauty. Please don't kill Black Beauty. Al, wake up. You're having a nightmare. Please don't. What happened? What happened, Margaret? You were having a nightmare, Al. No. I thought they were going to kill Black Beauty. What, the horse? No. It's an amphetamine that I used to take as a child. I mean, as an adult.
Wait a minute. How do you kill an amphetamine?
They were called Black Beauties, Margaret. And I thought someone was just going to dump them down the toilet.
Oh, Al, will you please get yourself together? You're waking me up every night with a different nightmare.
Margaret, did I just sense you starting to laugh?
Al, I have to laugh because your death rattles, your nightmares are so disturbing to me. I'm sitting here trying to masturbate, and you're trying, and I can't when you're just yelling things out like "Don't kill Black Beauty."
Wait a minute. Did you just say you're sitting here trying to masturbate?
Well, what? I'm not supposed to be honest with you, Dr. Harvey Stevens. Our counselor said we should be honest with each other.
Look, Margaret, I think he meant honesty in a way where we don't hurt each other. I mean, you don't have to tell me you masturbate. I thought I satisfy you sexually.
Al, how the hell can you satisfy me sexually when my fantasy life is so rich and varied? How are you gonna satisfy me with your 2-inch killer?
Is that what you call my penis? A 2-inch killer?
Al, I'm being generous. You know I'm being generous. That thing, whatever you want to call it, it's small, Al. It's very small.
Margaret, I try to make do with what God gave me. My 2-inch killer, as you so aptly put it, is just, it is what it is. And I try to move it around in you in an incredible way. I look at videos on YouTube and Pornhub just to try to satisfy you.
Well, I appreciate it, Al. But the last time we had sex, I was just doing a grocery list in my head. And I'll tell you something. Every time you put your tiny soldier in me, all I can think of is we're out of balsamic, we're out of tuna, vegan tuna.
Margaret, why do you always bring up vegan tuna when we're trying to talk about sex?
I don't know, Al. All I know is that my night has been interrupted. I had a great night planned. Masturbate, then make a bagel, and then watch the end of You Better Call Saul through the 3D glasses on a gummy.
Margaret, what the hell are you doing at night?
I'm masturbating, and then I follow it with the bagel, and then I do a gummy and watch Saul. You Better Call Saul.
Margaret, I thought when I go to sleep, you just go to sleep next to me.
Wrong!
Margaret, I think, the marriage counselor meant let's, not tell each other everything. You know what I mean? Because I feel insecure now, I feel like you have this whole other life.
Al, that's not even the tip of the iceberg, and I'm not referring to your 2-inch killer. Do you know what I do when I'm driving alone to the store?
Oh, Christ. What do you do, Margaret?
I zoom vulnerable people on my iPhone.
What the hell do you mean by vulnerable people?
Al, I'm talking about people who are elderly, really, really old, and they don't know what to do when I say to them that their car warranty's expired.
Margaret, ever since you had that scam perpetrated on you, and I'm starting to think the only reason that scammed work on you is because you were on a gummy. Am I right?
All right, Al. So what that I've lost a lot of our money on gummies? The thing is, gummies make me feel good.
You know what, Margaret? First of all, gummies to me meant just getting a blowjob with no teeth. Now, it's this whole thing about candies being infused with THC.
Al, first of all, when did you ever get a blowjob with no teeth.
Margaret, I was a trucker, and truck stops are rife with gummy blowjobs.
Al, now you're the one being too honest. You mean you were getting blowjobs from people with no teeth?
Yes, Margaret, men and women who didn't have teeth would hum the 2-inch killer so I could deliver the robot parts all over this country.
Al, don't tell me you delivered robot parts.
Yes, I delivered robot parts.
Al, AI intelligence is going to take over the goddamn world.
I know, Margaret. I know it is.
So why are you facilitating that by delivering robot parts?
Because robots are going to take over the world, and I want to be in good stead with them. I want to be in good standing with robots. They'll know that I delivered them when their intelligence takes over human intelligence and they start to kill us with lasers.
Al, this is crazy, all right? It's crazy talk. First of all, when they take over the earth, they are not going to spare you because you delivered them. They're cruel, heartless, unthinking, unfeeling bastards.
Margaret, watch what you say about robots. We have a couple in this place. Alexa's here, Siri's here, and we also have things that turn on and off the lights.
God damn you, Al. I just want to make love to myself, and you start with your goddamn nightmares, and then we spiral into this thing.
Margaret, look, can we just go back to sleep? Or me, I'll go back to sleep. I'll try not to have nightmares. I just want you to know I love you.
Oh, Al, I love you too. I'm sorry that I have such a rich and varied personal life without you. I do appreciate you. I mean, you're not a good wage earner, and you're not a good love maker, and you're ugly, but I do enjoy your company.
Oh, Margaret, you know how to make a guy feel like 20%.
Thanks for joining us for Checking In with Al and Margaret.
Ladies and gentlemen, our guest today on Apocalypse Soon, very soon. I'm thinking of renaming the podcast Apocalypse very soon, but I think it's just Apocalypse Soon for now. Please welcome author, podcaster, just raconteur, woman who does it all. Please welcome Anna David. Anna, how are you?
As I was just telling you, I'm bizarrely good today.
I know.
What's going on?
Yeah, but you just see, come on now. You're one of these people who I think plays life like a violin. You know what I mean? Like, oh, what did Anna do lately? Oh, she bought a house. Oh, she has a public. Meanwhile, I can barely pay for breakfast. And by breakfast, I mean just a bowl of tears, Anna, just a bowl of tears. Yeah.
This concept of me as a violin player, I did take it as a kid and was really uniquely untalented musically, talent-free over here. But I think I am just the most optimistic pessimist or the most pessimistic optimist. I'm not sure.
That's interesting because I see you as an optimist, but so are you, and by the way, folks, just so you know, we are in the end of days. I think I always hammer that home, and I'm not trying to upset anybody. People like Anna are doing very well. They're doing very well despite the, everything falling apart. Do you ever think, Anna, about the ecosystem collapsing, or are you one of these people who are like, you know what, I can't do anything fucking about this, so I'm just going to live my life and try to be happy?
The latter. The reason that I am doing well despite the apocalypse is I absolutely tune it out. I 100% take no responsibility for making the world a better place. I absolutely avoid the news. When I say I don't take any responsibility for making the world a better place, I am of service to people. while we're here, I do want to ease the burden and do what I can to make people happier or less in pain.
I love that.
But I absolutely tune out everything to do with war, collapse of the environment. I did my best with COVID, but that was super hard to avoid because it was just like everywhere news about it.
You know, that would be hilarious if you didn't know about COVID. Like if today on today's interview, I mentioned COVID and you're like, what is that? And I'm like, your news blackout can't be that good.
Yeah.
Well, two things. I remember right when it started, Jared Leto made news because people like to make fun of him. And he came out of a retreat. I mean, only 2 weeks into it. And he's like, what's going on? And everyone mocked him. But can I tell you, when I was really bottoming out in my addiction and my news blackout skills were amazing because my blackout skills were amazing. I remember going to a party, which was weird because I was mostly alone. And I'm in this crowd of people and someone's like, da-da-da, Viagra. And I go, what's Viagra? And it stopped the room because Viagra was it was late 90s. Apparently it was really in the news and everyone just looked at me. And from that moment on, because I tune out the news, you got to be really careful to ask questions because you could look really stupid.
Yeah.
So I never say what's blah, 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 ever.
Yep.
Just in case.
Just so you know, there's something going around now, in case anybody mentions it, so you're not out of it. Monkeypox. And I'm not sure what the fuck that is. Do you know what monkeypox is?
I do not.
That's some kind of thing that's going around. Just in case you're at a party, I know that now that you're sober and you're not addicted to things, you attend soirees. I know that occasionally you will attend catered events, and I don't want to see you ambushed by a monkeypox quote. Just say, yeah, I've heard about that. What the hell is it? Nobody really knows what it is. It's sort of like crypto.
Just go, it's wild. Yeah, wild.
Well, to be clear, you are actually not fucking with me.
No, I'm
This
not.
is a real thing.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I love
Didn't
that you
know.
never heard of it. I love
Never.
that you never heard of it. Aaron, do you know what monkeypox is? He doesn't know either. I don't think it's
heard of it, though.
serious yet, but it might be. I don't know.
Who knows?
Let's talk about you yourself have a podcast, and what is that called?
It is called Entrepreneur Publishing Academy. Now, when I told you the name before we started recording, you laughed.
I did.
Which is not actually the reaction one hopes for when one reveals the name. Your podcast, yes, a laugh is a good thing. I will say it sounds really boring. I think that's why you laughed, but it's not.
Yeah, I'm sure it's not, knowing you, and also because Anna, you're great. You're great. You're very self-aware. You're very aware of behavioral things, and you're introspective. And
How about funny Entrepreneur Publishing Academy?
no, that doesn't help it. What I think something like publish. This is going to seem lame. Publish your own work, right? Is that the gist of the podcast? Talk about the gist of the podcast. I'm gonna lay off your name. We don't need to.
No, it's about, here's what I want. I like listeners, but I really like listeners who can afford to hire my company to publish their books. And that is a certain type of person.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And they want it formal.
And so we do want to educate them. I do want to educate them about how you can publish a book that will help build your career. But I think about it because my favorite podcasts are not how-to podcasts. They're funny podcasts, or they're kind of murder podcasts. I know you like those. You like
Why
the
do you
murder
say
podcasts.
that? I criticize the murder podcasts because I feel like it's kind of a sickness to consider murder entertainment, which I think is what it's become. Do you know what I mean? Like, we now listen and watch because everybody loves when the next documentary comes out about a bizarre murder. I partly think it's entertainment because our lives are boring in one sense. Like, most of us don't have murder in our lives. I may or may not have that. It depends. I don't have that in my past, but I certainly, who knows what could happen, especially with financial stress. But, and the collapse of the ecosystem, which you don't know is happening.
I don't know about that. Yeah.
By the way, let me ask you a serious question. Do you know about the drought in the West? Like how bad it is?
I do.
Okay.
I do. I know about that. And I know, I mean, not to brag, but I know that we're headed towards a recession.
Oh.
I know that I filled, see, you guys are impressed. I filled my gas tank this morning and it was $60.
Unreal. 70
a little
for
Mini
me.
Cooper. I know that's not good.
Wow. That isn't good.
That's bad.
And then I think, because my ignorance allows me to think things like this, is this all just a lie? This like gas has gone up and the supply chain and it's all just a lie, because as an entrepreneur, I get wanting to make as much money as you can. So you say things, right?
Yep.
Yeah, that's interesting because I'm the, I could learn so much from you because I am so bad at business. Because my whole thing is just to indulge in my emotions. Like, I swear to God, being a stand-up for me is all about this indulgence in my id, in my like it's like cathartic for me. And I mean, I do care about money, obviously, if you live in this world. But I just love that you said. And you're right about gas prices being artificially high because people want to make money. And it's what's fucked. It isn't bad that people want to make money. What's bad is that the money that some people are making is just pure greed. You know, like the fact that, 0.1% of the country owns 50% of the wealth is insane. That's insanity. The billionaires, the oligarchs, whatever you want to call them. What you call them are your friends. What I call them. No, but you would be you're a person who fucking, instead of like bemoaning all this atrocity, you're like, well, I'm going to fucking make money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right?
That is what I say. And maybe it's heartless. I will tell you.
Maybe it's heartless. You just threw that off. Maybe it's heartless. Maybe it's not.
Wonder. And I asked my therapist, I was like, I don't cry when these things happen, these things that just devastate everybody. Is it that I'm a bad person? And she said, it's too much for you to take in, so you're blocked, which is a very kind thing.
Saying that you can't, it's too much for you to take in, means you're a little shut down.
Oh, yeah, of course I am.
Everybody is. Everybody is. Yeah, that's right. I can't take, I'm so vulnerable. I'm an open wound. Like, as a matter of fact, when I apply for something, they ask me my occupation and I say open wound. And they say, what the fuck is that? And I'm like, I'm just an open wound, sir. My vulnerability, I think, speaks volumes. I think you could tell I'm an overeater. I think you could tell the incredible empathy in my eyes, all that kind of stuff that you never land a job if you talk about this stuff. But here's
my question for you. Would you want to be a better businessman?
Yes.
Business person?
Yes.
Really?
I do. Yeah, because I struggle, I have a 2007 Honda Element. And that's
not to brag.
Not to brag. It's really nice.
Nice.
I have satellite radio. It's spacious. There's room to weep. Do you have a car where there's room to weep? No, you don't, because you have a Mini Cooper. There's not a lot of room to weep in that car. What do you do when you get sad?
A lot of room to weep. I don't weep because I'm shut down. It saves you money on a car. I mean, you know what I mean? It's a more compact. Saves you money on gas, which you need right now.
Yeah. All right. So tell me how to be a better business person.
Well, I think if I could get my hands on you, this sounds weird, and just be like, Eddie, I'm going to come over every day and we're like your coach, and we're going to get this ridiculous talent that you have. We all know how ridiculously America's comic, right? The comedian's comic. And we're going to get you to make the millions a year that you deserve.
Yeah.
Then we would say, okay, you want to be, because we can't control who books who, right? I'm tired of the gatekeepers.
Me
and,
too.
You get booked everywhere, and that's good, right?
Yeah. But I am tired of the gatekeepers too.
Fuck them.
Fuck them.
But we could say, do you want to be trained by Eddie Pepitone? It's $2,000 an hour. And why is my thing going? And you can have 1 hour with him. Well, I would start booking those. Get you, like $20,000 a week, 10 sessions.
Oh my God.
Right?
Let's talk about this off the air.
Yeah.
And your commission would be 10%, right? Would it be 10?
Yeah. I mean, depends.
You see, you're good.
I mean, 200, yeah, do it.
Yeah,
It's a sliding scale.
Yeah, for you, I'd add to it. I'd add another 1,000 just to get you doing it.
But I always feel like, oh, I don't know if I deserve it or something. You know what I mean?
Oh God, yes. And what I have learned is that you just do it anyway. I just had this situation this morning. A lot has happened to me today between filling my gas tank and this other experience I'm about to describe. Well, I have this company, right, where we have our fees, and they're high. And I talked to somebody, and for whatever reason, even though I knew he knew our fees, I quoted him half. I quoted him less than half. And I came home and said to my boyfriend, why would I do that? And I'm beating myself up.
People pleasing? Did people pleasing come in?
It's just this thing. I do think sometimes business is intuitive. And what our clients pay us for, they're paying us a pain in the ass fee, because some of them are such nightmares that it, and I think that I got the vibe that there was not going to be a pain in the ass and that he was going to be a repeat customer. So was it
business
fear
is
or
intuitive.
intuition?
Business is intuitive. I agree with that. Interesting.
But when someone says too quickly, sounds great, you're like, fuck, I said too little.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is funny. That is funny that you offer something and then they take it immediately, and then you're like, wait a minute. That would be funny to take it back and say, hey, let's say his name is Fred. Fred, you took it so quick, I'm going to have to raise that.
Yeah. I got to rethink this.
Yeah. So you help people publish?
Yes.
My question about self-publishing, because this is what we're talking about, is how do you get people to buy this stuff? Because the big companies have big advertising budgets. How does someone who self-publishes, how do they...
The big company, because, I did 6 books with HarperCollins. Those advertising budgets, I guess, are being used on like J.K. Rowling, because nobody I know.
Starfuckers. Everybody.
So, everybody, yes. Especially me. We could get into that too. But like the way publishing works is basically they know they're going to lose money on most of their books, and they know they're going to make outrageous money on certain books. So self-publishers, so they're in the same situation basically. And it's not about how many copies you sell. It's about who buys it. So let's say you and I are working on a book about like how to be funny at the end of the world. That's actually kind of not a bad title.
Not bad.
Yeah.
Let's work on that book.
The goal of this book is not to sell 1 million copies, but to get people to hire you as a coach, as a comedy coach.
Oh, I see. I think that is smart. I like it. You are one of these people, Anna is one of these people who is a resource that I don't tap enough. Like I have all these friends who do all this fucking stuff, and
I will say, as a person who's newly in your life with this, that you have a lot of that you don't tap into. Because everybody I talk to always is like so excited about Eddie, and then I'm like, Eddie, let's reach out to him, and a lot of times he's little old me.
Part of that's an act, but I always feel good when I hear that, but I don't know. I don't know what it is about me and abundance. I don't know how you want to put it. Me and success. I don't know.
Well, the challenge would be so much of your comedy is based in this.
That is true. Oh, you're saying that which I've heard before, if I got successful, what the fuck would I talk about? I think it would be hilarious to brag about success during the end of days when people are just like fucking offing themselves at a rapid rate, and you're like, everything's fucking great. All you got to do is fucking self-publish or whatever I brag
What
about.
I'm doing.
Well, listen, we have to go, but this is amazing. We should actually, I really seriously, I really think I think people can learn a lot from you. I think I can learn a lot from you about just fucking making money.
Yeah.
Because you do it very well. Anna David, so give us the name of that fluid name again about your podcast and where people can reach you and all that. Give us that.
It is called Entrepreneur Publishing Academy. Now, if by chance you're not turned off by that name, you could also subscribe to my newsletter. If you're interested in writing a book, which the New York Times says 81% of people are, so that might be you who's listening. Yeah. You can go to bestsellingbookbulletin.com and you'll get advice from me like Eddie wants.
Okay, cool.
I love it.
And I'll get this info from you, and we'll put it on the website for the podcast, yeah?
Yeah.
All right, Anna. Thank you, Anna. Fuck.
So well said.
Thank you so much. And I'll talk to you.
Oh, my God.
I'll talk to you soon about those gigs, okay?
Eddie, I love you. Thank you so
too.
much.
Mwah.
Such a pleasure. Nice meeting you, everybody.
And now cleanse your minds and open your chakras with guided meditation with Eddie Pepitone.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to another guided meditation. We are living in unprecedented, evil times, and we are not going to survive well. So there is a lot of stress that I'm sure has inhabited your body like a demon inhabits a small child. So, first of all, I want you to just shake your arms out, shake your body a little bit, and let all the stress that you have, all the stress that's built up from you just hitting someone on the street in your car by accident. A lot of people are doing that now, that they are trying to, numb themselves with various medications, and sometimes people don't know what's in the medications, fentanyl, methamphetamine, and they wind up hitting people with their vehicles. Shake all that out if you've hit anyone on the street lately. And if you have, hopefully nobody has seen you and can report you. If you think you've been captured on video, shake that out too. Shake that out. You probably have been captured. And now with your in-breath, with your first in-breath, I want you to take a deep, deep breath, and I want you to think about all of the fascists that the United States have supported over the years, the United States government. A couple come to mind right away for me. Pinochet in Chile, Saddam Hussein, who was a creation of our war. Saddam Hussein, who was a creation of the CIA. I'm sorry, I'm kind of being choppy today, but I was on a boat that witnessed a murder. I want you to breathe in a movie about people getting murdered on a boat. That happens often, like a ghost ship comes drifting into a harbor very eerily, and a young couple will go, oh, they were meeting a friend on the boat, and all they see are bloated bodies. Breathe that in. Breathe a movie like that in. I want you to breathe in the fact that you don't know how Bob Crane was murdered. Bob Crane, who was the star of Hogan's Heroes. Everybody thinks it was his friend John Carpenter. They used to film their sexual exploits with one of the first video cameras, and Craig Kinnear played Bob Crane. What happened to Craig Kinnear? We don't see him anymore. Breathe it all in, that you miss Craig Kinnear, that you don't know particularly how Bob Crane was murdered, that there are ghost ships with bloated bodies. Nobody knows how those go. Now, with your out-breath, I want you to just breathe out the fact that you let your life get away from you. You had an opportunity, you had a small window to be a success. Everybody has a small window to be a success, and you squandered that opportunity because you had to take care of people. You had to take care of people, or you just didn't have the support that is needed to become a success. And now you just swim in dark, dark thoughts or dark waters, which was a pretty good movie with Mark Ruffalo about the fact that Monsanto or Dow Chemical, doesn't matter, they're the same horrific scumbags. We're poisoning water. Let's just say poor people were poisoned in Louisiana, Cancer Alley from the chemical. Breathe in the cancer-causing chemicals that are not regulated, that all these cancer-causing corporations have bought and paid for our politicians. Realize that there's no one advocating for you. Realize that you're alone against forces of evil that have never been arrayed against you like they are today. You don't have a goddamn chance. Breathe that out. And now, after that out breath, I want you to take a deep in breath and realize that all the ways you escape, whether it's through movies or drugs or sports or food, none of them will work in the long run, because all that instant gratification is eating you alive. You will not be able to survive living from one pleasure to the next, because the flip side of pleasure is pain, immense pain. So breathe in the immense pain that awaits you with all your escapes. Even if your escape is to collect butterflies, we know they're disappearing. Maybe it's to watch bees pollinating, and we know they're disappearing. Just keep breathing that in. It's going to be sad when dogs start disappearing. Right now it's just butterflies and bees, and actually 100 species a day go extinct. I want you to breathe that in. Breathe that in, that life itself is disappearing. And you tell yourself that everything's going to be all right, but deep down you know it's not. You know it's not. And now I want you to breathe out. Just let your breath out and know that you won't be able to fit into your pants or your jumpsuit or your culotte. just know that Bob Crane was murdered. He was murdered. So many people get murdered. Murder is entertainment now for the world in documentaries, forensic files, Dateline. There's entire networks. There's an entire cachet of people who now produce shows about murder, and people watch these shows for entertainment. I want you to breathe that in, to breathe it out. It doesn't matter at this point whether you're breathing in or out. Matter of fact, why don't you hyperventilate? Hyperventilate the fact that pretty soon no one's going to be able to have children, afford to have children, except the very rich, the oligarchs. Free speech will be dead as fascism roams the country in the form of the Christianized right. Hyperventilate that. Breathe in and out, breathe in and out, breathe in and out, and know that it's all going to end soon. So soon. Most of you will collapse in bakeries. Most of you will collapse, period. Most of you will be on bridges that there is no money for infrastructure for, because we spend all our money on military adventurism. That's right. We have endless wars. Breathe that in. And breathe out the fact that you're going to be driving on a bridge and it's just going to collapse because we never put in any money to our roads or our transportation or our public education. Breathe in the fact that the haves and have-nots will be waging war against each other very soon. Breathe that in.
This has been Guided Meditation with Eddie Pepitone.
All right, folks, that was our show, and I just want to say what a pleasure, again, to serve you with despair and humor at the same time. Remember, there are two sides to every coin, especially Bitcoins, which are tanking, I think, even though I think I'm going to get into crypto big time. I want you guys to leave a review. Leave a review, please. Join our Patreon, patreon.com/Eddie Pepitone. I need the money. My dog is having minor surgery today. I just dropped her off. I'm scared for her because I have separation anxiety, but that's neither hither nor thither. Great vaudeville team, by the way, if
Amazing.
you get a chance.
Great team.
Yeah. Anything else, Kev, we have to do?
Hey,
Patreon?
go to the YouTube and subscribe. You're always going to get the video of the video companion to this podcast the week after. And if you're a Patreon subscriber, you get it the moment that it comes out, along with some stand-up clips and just some extra Eddie as we create some more. But yeah, thanks for checking us out, and we'll see you next week.
See you next week, everybody. Thanks for dropping in. And remember, you'll be dead soon.